playing with this. So what word do you see there? What do you see? Say it loud. What do you see? 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. Good. So most people say good. See, in the midst of good, look again. Yes. Yeah? Just an analogy. In the midst of things that are perceived as inherently good can always and can oftentimes also be evil. So they still looking, they're like, well, I don't see no evil in it. So, you see it now? Now we're going to get to some neuroscience. What's interesting is this. Once I say, do you see it? You say, I see it now. Now all you see is it. Let's talk about that. Did we talk today? Yes. If you saw good, but once you recognize evil, evil stays with you. You see that first. That's your mind playing tricks on you. Ghetto boy style. That's what's going on with this word. That you're perceiving something some way, and then in your implementation turn what's good into evil. Because you haven't done the unpacking work first. Y'all ain't even with me. We don't go there
all day.
Yeah. So, with that being said, if good and evil plays out in curriculum, good and evil plays out in hip hop. Some of y'all, I always open up with this joint, right? That says parental advisory explicit content. Click that for me, fam. That very same thing can very easily be progressive educational content. Yeah. And that's easy to say, but I want y'all to understand it can also go, it's a duality. Y'all with me on that? Yeah. So so everybody here is on the boat when we're like, oh, progressive educational content. We don't talk about it. It's we believe hip hop is good. We believe this. I'm here to challenge y'all today. We believe hip hop is good. It's good enough. Except when you start understanding that hip hop is good can also be flawed if you don't understand the work behind it.
That's right.
See, when hip hop itself was born, look, this is why the radio bothers me. Because you turn on the radio and all you hear is turn up. And I don't have an issue with turn up. But if turn up is on the radio everywhere, it is making a globalization of a particular strand of the culture, which is inherently problematic because it hinders other aspects of the culture to be able to develop.
Yeah.
I want y'all to understand, you're doing the same thing with that curriculum. I'm going to hit y'all with what hits you, then I'm going to flip it on you. Institutionalizing the curriculum is making trap, Atlanta, local focused hip hop, which is okay for there, a global exercise. You can't do that, bro. Y'all with me? Yeah. So we set that at brains, and then we go on into this. And after this, I'm going to get into my science a little bit. Because we are, after all, here. Where are we? Where are we? Okay, I'm going to ask again. Where are we?
Right here.
We're in Portland, yeah. Where are we? We are in native land, my G.
Yes. Yes.
And without our recognition of that fact,
yes,
what we're doing is the same process. We're here to do good without the recognition. This is why when I saw Superman on the fly, I was like, Karanja, salute. Because the work also requires us troubling how we end up being, in a Frantz Fanon kind of sense, the replicators of oppression. Tim talked about this brilliantly, and he touched on it because he touched on some heat. But the idea of us knowing that we are also the folks who are instilling oppression on other folks. Do you know that by our very presence in here, without our collective acknowledgement of whose land we are on, we are enacting oppression? As we talk about how we want black and brown folks to be free? How ignorant of us. None of this stuff created itself when hip hop started, or 10 years ago. You can't talk about black and brown liberation without talking about liberation for them folks as well. You can't.
Right.
And once you understand that, then you have real tools to be able to address the issues we have around truly implementing a hip-hop-based pedagogy. Because the schooling model of the Carlisle School in the 1800s is a version of what we're implementing today. But if you can't first recognize that we're on their land and they're going through it first, we can't get the tools we need to win. Everybody's too busy looking forward, nobody want to look at themselves or backwards. You can't get free unless you know your history. And sometimes your history ain't your particular history. Your history is folks who've gone through the model already, so you can build with them and learn from them. This is schooling in 2016, in my opinion. I always ask, you see smiles on those faces? Anybody happy to be there? Anybody joyous? So here's the Emden Tip 101 of the day. You want to know how to implement hip-hop pedagogy successfully and need an assessment to ensure you're doing it right? If their faces look like this, you're doing it wrong. We can't have a